Hello and welcome to my channel Simmerin, where I share my gaming with you, and today we will be learning about Blade Slingers in Anthem. So Blade Slingers were introduced to Anthem during the Cataclysm in 2019, and they are basically a new type of weapon which features a projectile. This one is the Razorwing, and it's one of my favourites, and this is one that charges a circular projectile and uses dynamic force. It then launches a heavy blade that bounces between targets, and it's absolutely amazing. It's great for clearing groups of enemies because the blade will basically bounce between the enemies several times, inflicting large amounts of damage. I use it on all of my javelins at the moment, and I think it's brilliant. It's not so great against elementals and Valkyries because it has difficulty taking down shields, let's say, but otherwise it's brilliant for, as I said, bouncing between targets. So if you have a group of enemies, it will clear them pretty quickly, and it seems to do quite a lot of damage as well. I think mine has a hit that's around 20 upwards. It can go down to a bit lower depending on the enemy and whether you've enhanced the damage with components, inscriptions and consumables. But altogether, I use this on, I think, every single javelin, and it's just, I love it. I love the way the blade bounces. I love that you can also just fire it anywhere, and it seems to seek targets, and it seems to also try to hit their weak points. So it makes you a bit of a lazy aimer actually, but that's fine. In the middle of a battle, when you've just got to clear things quickly, aiming isn't something you really want to have to spend time on. So just firing it randomly, if that does a trick, then so be it. It's a brilliant weapon, and I'm really pleased they added it to the game. So the next weapon is Razes Ripper, and this also charges a circular projectile with dynamic force, and it fires a barbed blade that inflicts ongoing shrapnel damage. And this one you have to be really good about aiming because it's got a tiny hitbox or hit sort of center, and what it will do is it will hit a target and then it will fire maybe 3 times or 4 times, and it does a lot of damage, and it can take down shields, and if you hit a weak point it does even greater damage. It has enhanced weak point damage. The only reason I don't use this is it's very difficult to aim it. You have to be very, very precise, in my opinion, and in the heat of battle, when you just want to take things down quickly, having to sort of find those little weak points, and it's got a large range as well, so finding little weak points at a distance can be quite tricky. It's good for things like the Sunken Cell, where the Unfathomed, the Fury in there, has a huge hitbox and weak point hitbox, and you could basically just fire that, not randomly, but sort of in the general direction without having to be so precise. And it would be great in the Tyrant Mine as well. So anywhere where the enemies have a large hitbox, it will be brilliant. I don't use it that much. I'm going to continue testing it and seeing if I can make more use of it. Now, my all-time favourite Blade Slinger is the almighty Shard Storm, and this also charges a circular projectile with dynamic force, and it launches experimental crystal projectiles across the immediate area, and these spin out in a massive force field and destroy everything in their path. It's super powerful. Mine has 150% physical damage. That's not even as high as it can go. I think you could probably get it up to 350% damage. We are assuming that it is physical damage that this weapon does. there was a bit of confusion as to whether it could have been force kinetic or even electric damage, but at this stage we're assuming it's physical damage. And so yeah, it's brilliant. It rips shields off, it just clears huge amount of enemies. Also, I found on my ranger is that each little tiny, it spins really quickly, and each one of those quick spins is a hit, so it procs elemental ops really quickly. A lot of the time it will just kill everything without needing to proc elemental ops, but it's brilliant. It's brilliant in strongholds, it's brilliant for taking down elementals and Valkyries. It's just brilliant in every way, and I love it. The only downside is it has quite a long charge time, and it has a travel time. You can use a travel time to your advantage, because it will basically just keep going until it runs out of travel time. So if there are enemies lined up in a line, it will just clear those until it doesn't stop if it hits something, for example. It has a very low magazine size, so I think it may be 4. Or it could be 1, I'm not sure. But yeah, so you have to watch out that you don't run out of charges or bullets or experimental crystals. But all in all, this is my favourite weapon in the game at the moment, and it's got all the hallmarks of that sort of weird alien technology weapon that fires something that nobody quite knows what it is or what it really does, and it's super powerful, and it looks brilliant. When you use this anywhere in a group, it just looks amazing. Like just sort of this huge spinning force field just destroying everything in its path. It's just one of the best things ever, and I love it. So I'm using that all the time now on every javelin and in every situation I can. So there you have it. Those are the Blade Slingers that were added to Anthem in 2019 as part of the Cataclysm. And I didn't play all weeks of the Cataclysm, so I missed these guns last year, and I've only just picked them up with Icetide, so that's why I'm super excited about them and sharing my excitement with you. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you soon on Simmering. Okay, bye.